Welcome to In the Zone on Full Court Press, Week 7 of In the Zone. And this week's player is a former MVP, a former Defensive Player of the Year. You already know who it is. The Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. This week, Giannis has been going absolutely insane. He set 2 franchise records, one for the most rebounds in Milwaukee Bucks history, and another for the most points in a single game. Things got a little heated in that game afterwards, but we'll save that for a little bit later in the video. If you're new to the channel, this is something that we do every week where we have the hottest player in the league for the week called In the Zone. If you enjoy this type of content, make sure to hit the subscribe button below. Alright, let's get into it. Fabio, you got the stats for Giannis this week.
Giannis posted up some impressive stats. He put up 36 points per game, 12.8 rebounds per game, 4.5 assists per game, 1.8 steals per game, on 66% from the field. What makes this even crazier is he averaged 36 points per game, but not in your typical way you'd expect. He made 1 3-pointer across this whole week. So all of his points were either from the free throw line or inside the arc, where he's just getting up pull up middies or just dominating in the paint like he normally does. So he's just like an unstoppable force once he gets in there. We've known Shaq as the most dominant guy ever. Giannis is right up there with him. He's showing his dominance, just scoring from wherever he wants inside the paint, and no one's been able to stop him. What's even crazier is, as Albin mentioned earlier, he put up the most points in franchise history this week against the Indiana Pacers. The Indiana Pacers are known for their terrible defense, and Giannis showed that badly. He dropped a season high and a league season high 64 points against the Pacers.
Straight bully ball.
Miles Turner, that man couldn't stop him. No one could stop him.
They tried to take him out the game. Aaron Nesmith tried to tackle him. Then you got Thanasis holding himself back on the sideline.
Yeah, he did.
My brother.
And then in that whole game in general caused controversy because at the end of the game, Giannis wanted the game ball because he set a new record. He set the league high for points in that season too. He wants the game ball for his great performance. It makes sense. But the Pacers, they wanted to give the game ball to their rookie Oscar. Create a whole controversy because the Bucks thought the Pacers took the game ball, but it turns out they didn't. And Giannis charged their locker room.
Yeah, you saw him running into the tunnel, knocking over the Bucks coaches, their trainers, just trying anything he could to go to the locker room and get that game ball. He came back out. He started yelling at Halliburton, "You need to get the ball, Hallie. You need to get the ball."
Basically, what Giannis was doing when he was running to the locker room was what he was doing to the Pacers all game. No one was stopping him.
Literally ran right through them.
On top of that, they beat the Detroit Pistons. Everyone's beating them. But what made that win impressive is Giannis didn't play in the fourth quarter at all. Giannis literally was sitting on the bench, chilling with his children, watching the rest of his team play.
Honestly, the most disrespectful act I've seen all season. Bro literally just left mid-game. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my kids.
It's my family time. Watch his brother Thanasis get on the court with his kids, Quality bonding.
Thanasis checked in and they thought that the standing ovation was for him.
I didn't even know about that.
He just started smiling. Yes. I checked in just for Giannis instead. Outside of the Pistons and just a bunch of memes that occurred in that week, they also played the Bulls, who were on a little bit of a hot streak.
That was around their start of the hot streak.
Yeah. And they beat them. They also beat the Houston Rockets, who are known for having a pretty good defense, but there's no stopping Giannis whatsoever. And
the Bulls game ended up going into overtime, and that's where Giannis ended up taking over for the most part. He willed his team to the win. He wasn't going to let them lose, and because of all his efforts this week, the Bucks ended up making it all the way to the 2nd seed, where they're just a couple games behind the Boston Celtics. Yep,
it's pretty important, that 1-2 spot. We both thought that it's going to go to the Boston Celtics or the Milwaukee Bucks by the end of the year, and it's looking like it. They're seeming to pull away from the rest of the East right now, but this is what Giannis is going to be doing all season. It seems to be what he's been doing since the beginning of the season. It was a little bit of a slow start for Dame. Dame's starting to finally pick it up, but Giannis is definitely still the leader of this team. It's still his team. He's still willing them to the wins every single week, and that's just what he has to do. There's not much help outside of him, Middleton, Dame. So you have Brook Lopez chipping in. You've got Malik Beasley chipping in. You have Pat Connaughton, Bobby Portis. But these guys aren't known to take over games. They're just known to put in their 10 to 15 points here and there. So the burden of the team relies on Giannis and Dame. And defense has been somewhat of an issue for the Bucks.
It's been slowly getting better.
Yeah, slowly been getting better, but you got rid of a great defensive guard in Drew Holiday for Dame, who's more of an offensive guard. So Giannis needs to pick it up more on defense and take care of the slack when offensive players drive right by Dame.
I mean, in my opinion, the Bucks they just had to slowly figure things out. New coach, pretty new roster construction. Like, they can't play the same way that they've been playing for the past however many years. So it's really just all a learning process. It seems like things are slowly clicking and slowly coming together. Their offense seems like damn near unstoppable. Their defense, when it comes to the fourth quarter specifically, is when it locks in the most. Their team locks in the most. So it's really just about being consistent throughout the whole game for them. Giannis this year has been pretty consistent. That's why he's back in the MVP race, top 3 still. Arguably top 2.
Right, and he could honestly be someone that we put on in the zone every single week just because he's always going to put on a performance and he's always going to will his team to victory. And the chemistry, as you said, it's finally coming together. Things are starting to click. That offense is coming together. The defense is still starting to improve. And that's what we want to see when it comes to these players. And when it comes to deciding on who's in the zone, that 64-point game sure played a huge role in that.
Oh, yeah, especially with how many people were going off this week. That 64 was huge.
So that'll wrap things up for week 7 of In the Zone. Make sure to comment below what you think about Giannis' performance. Till next time. Peace.